What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got a breakdown for the weekly reset, and of course it's Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. And as we clock out the final couple of weeks before we get the update in March, this week we will see yet another Riven's Wish quest, so we'll cover what we know about that, and additionally, we get the refresh for the new season content, as well as bonuses and rank boosts, and on top of that, we'll see the rest of our normal weekly reset content, new unlocks, challenges, and as always we get the raid refreshes, exotic mission rotator and featured activities, the Nightfall, featured weapon, playlist modes, and as well we'll cover all of the key unlocks for the week, so we'll round it up with everything worth knowing about what's happening in the game. As always, if you do find the video today useful, a rating and a comment below really do help us out on the channel, but without further delay, let's get into it. And for seasonal activities, of course, we'll get a refresh on all of the challenges and the sort of milestone elements. Otherwise, seasonal challenges themselves have finished rolling out, but one new component for the week will be the new Riven's Wish quest, so this is Riven's Wishes 4. And for the objective, Bungie say we need to defeat combatants in the Blind Well, located in the font of Starlight in the Dreaming City, and additionally we need to complete a Tier 3 Blind Well activity. Activating the Blind Well requires charged light, which can be earned by completing activities and opening chests in the Dreaming City, but on top of that, it can be rewarded for completing Petravenge's bounties. And so essentially it is a case of running Blind Well this week, I believe, though we do have to defeat targets as well as get that Tier 3 completion. Most players are just going to jump in and run the Tier 3. And yes, some of the adjustments to Riven's Wish objectives that they published in the patch last week will apply to the quest this time. So versus the first couple of weeks, this will probably go fairly quickly, much like we saw with Riven's Wishes 3. So if you need to pick up any Last Wish weapons, exotics from the Nightfall year, upgrade materials or mementos, we can continue to do that, and we'll have another couple of weeks after this reset as well. So let us know in the comment section if you'll be running the Wish this week. Otherwise though, don't forget the reset on the Warlord's Ruin dungeon. Good luck if you are jumping in for Pinnacle gear, any of the legendary stuff, or indeed the exotic for the dungeon. Next though, for playlists this week, something to keep in mind, but Bungie have said we've got bonuses for Crucible, Vanguard, and Gambit ranks all week long, so if you're looking to rank up in any of the core playlists, it's certainly going to be a pretty good week to jump in. But in the Crucible, apparently Sparrow Control is returning this week, so let us know if you're interested to dive into that one again. I believe it's only the second time that it's come up. On top of that though, Rift and Elimination will be featured this week as well, and we'll see the return of Trials with the daily reset on Friday. So at least a few interesting elements right there. And then as we head over to the Vanguard, the featured Nightfall for this week will be Psyops Battleground in the Cosmodrome, and the featured weapon is going to be Warden's Law. So of course any of these Psyops Battleground Nightfalls are interesting. They can be a little trickier on Grandmaster difficulty, but that also means we can pick up Warden's Law Adept if you haven't grabbed one just yet. So let us know if you'll be diving into the Nightfall or Vanguard playlists this week. Then as we get to the raid and dungeon rotation over here on the Legacy tab, we should see Kingsfall featured this week, and so of course things like Touch of Malice as well as all of the Kingsfall legendary rewards will be available, and should indeed be farmable as well, so it is a good time to try and pick up any of those. Otherwise though, in the Cosmodrome, the Grasp of Avarice dungeon should be featured this week, and both of the featured activities will drop their unique items with updated power relevancy. Next up though, for the exotic mission that's featured this week in the Rotator, it'll be Operation Seraph Shield, so it's another opportunity to pick up the Revision 0, which is a craftable weapon now, or any of the Season of the Seraph weapons, the legendary stuff, but of course there are some pretty good ones, so if you haven't picked them up previously or need to work on red borders and things like that, it'll be a good one to dive into. Otherwise, the last couple of weeks have been interesting in the Eververse store. Of course, we've had new bundles introduced, some of that is paid content, and otherwise there have been a couple of decent items for Bright Dust as well, but I will keep you posted with that full inventory when it updates with the reset on Tuesday. Heading over to Eternity though, and the Dares of Eternity right here, on top of the core loot drops and of course the Pinnacle and things like that, we get additional drops from the Rotation 4 loot pool, and that includes the Scatterhorn and Pathfinder armor sets. So those are Forsaken and Season of the Lost armors, but additionally, weapons from Season of the Lost can drop as additional drops at the end of the activity, and a couple of world drops from Forsaken. For the featured Lost sectors this week though, starting out on Neomuna on Tuesday, we'll get Gilded Precept, which will be dropping exotic chest pieces. Then it'll move over to the EDZ with Scavenger's Den on February 21st, dropping exotic helmets, which is followed by Skydock on February 22nd, dropping exotic legs. But then we'll see the Quarry on the EDZ on February 23rd, dropping exotic gauntlets, before moving back around to Aphelion's Rest in the Dreaming City on the 24th, which will be dropping chest pieces. That's followed by Bay of Drowned Wishes on February 25th, dropping exotic helmets, and finally, for the 26th of February, it'll be Chamber of Starlight in Dreaming City, dropping exotic legs. And our final mention for the week is for the Ascendant Challenge, and so the Keep of Owned Edges in Harbinger's Seclude will be the featured challenge this week, so if that's one you need to run, I will show some gameplay at the end of the video with the location for the week. But otherwise, guys, that is everything we have to round up for this week's reset. So, as always, I hope the video has been useful today, and if it has, a rating below very much helps us out on the channel. Also, be sure to get subscribed. We are going to start seeing a couple more game updates shortly, with March 5th being the sort of primary update to the game that we'll see before April when, of course, Into the Light drops. So, certainly worth getting subscribed and turning on notifications so I can keep you up to date on those. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in today, and I will catch you all very soon.